The Battle for Brooklyn is finally out, and with it came a brand new exotic mask that grants a stacking buff of status damage and weapon damage simultaneously. I originally put this build together in my head and figured it would be decent, but I did not expect it to be this good. Macos Buck here, and today let's make a build with the new exotic mask, the Catalyst. Kicking it off with our exotic mask, the Catalyst, which comes rainbow rolled. Rainbow rolled means it comes rolled with one of each attribute type, a red, a blue, and a yellow. The Catalyst comes with weapon damage, status damage, and hazard protection. It also comes with the talent Chemical Agent, which is a lot, so bear with me. Dealing and receiving status effects, which can be burn, bleed, shock, EMP, disrupt, poison, and blind or disorient, builds stacks of catalysis to a max of 12. Each stack grants 2% weapon damage and 2% status effect, up to a max of 24% for both. Each enemy within 25 meters that is affected by a status effect grants +1 stack, and when you are affected by status effects, grants +2 stacks. At max stacks, killing a status affected enemy will grant +25% bonus armor and +20% to reload speed. And if all that wasn't enough, you can still ADS and shoot while on fire. In short, shoot enemies, affect them with a status. When they die to said status and you are at max stacks, you gain bonus armor and reload speed while also getting a 24% buff to both weapon and status damage that is now spreading to all enemies in the area. The Catalyst can be obtained from the New Brooklyn Mission Army Terminal and has a chance to drop from taking down the Marauder towards the end of the mission. It is not guaranteed, so prepare to probably farm. You get a 3% chance on normal up to a 10% chance on heroic. With all that said, we will be pairing our new exotic mask with 4 pieces of the Eclipse Protocol Gearset. 4 pieces of Eclipse Protocol grants us +15% status effects, 15% skill haste, 30% hazard protection, and the Gearset talent Indirect Transmission. Your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 10 meters and refresh 50% of the duration. We will strictly be using the gloves, knees, holster, and backpack of Eclipse Protocol as we need the chest free for our brand piece, and we want to utilize the Eclipse Protocol backpack talent Symptom Aggravator, amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. That one remaining gear piece is going to be in the chest slot so that we can make use of Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds and stacks up to 20 times. As for the brand itself, this can either be Grupo for an extra 13% to critical damage or Ceska for an additional 8% to critical chance. Which one you go with sort of depends on your Eclipse Protocol drops. Eclipse Protocol naturally drops as a yellow rolled item, so you will need to do some farming as we are going with an all red rolled variant, with weapon damage being our core attribute and crit damage and crit chance being our other attributes. We will be aiming for an even 60% crit chance or slightly under it without going over, and the rest into critical hit damage. We will also be modding our mask, chest, and backpack with crit chance and crit damage mods to get to that goal as well. On a fully optimized build and my Shade Watch maxed out, I am sitting at 59.5% crit chance and 138% crit damage using a Grupo chest, with my Eclipse pieces having 2 rolled with crit chance and 2 rolled with crit damage. You will also stack a lot of nice damage resistances with this build, gaining 57.5% resistances to all damage types. Now, this build is obviously about dealing weapon damage and status damage and spreading status damage, but which status are we going with? Which brings us to our primary weapon, and we are going with the Iron Lung Exotic LMG. Iron Lung comes with the talent Ardent. Shooting heats up the weapon, filling up a heat meter. The meter is equivalent to 50% of the weapon's standard magazine size. When the meter is full, round shot by the weapon ignites enemies. When not shooting, the meter depletes over time. Reloading or swapping weapons will fully deplete the meter. Basically, hold down the trigger and spray. When your Iron Lung meter is full, you will begin to light enemies that you shoot on fire. When they die on fire, Eclipse Protocol will then light every enemy within 10 meters on fire as well, and Catalyst will start stacking weapon and status damage buffs and grant you bonus armor and reload speed. This combo is actually incredibly fun. Iron Lung will statically come with LMG damage and damage to target out of cover on it already. As for my last attribute, I went with critical hit chance to get that crit chance right near max. As for your secondary weapon, you can go with any weapon of your choice that has ignited. Ignited amplifies weapon damage against burning enemies by 25%, and after 4 kills, you will apply burn to the next enemy you hit. The named AR Pyromaniac would slot nicely here. I'm using an SMG 9A2 with regular ignited on it. Moving on to our skills and specializations, starting with our skills. These are kind of preference, but I find that Decoy is always hard to pass up on builds like these, as it just stops you from being shot when it's up, most of the time. As for your second skill, if you want to really lean into the whole vibe of the build, you can go with the Firestarter Chem Launcher. It actually does really nice tick damage with this setup at around 127k damage a tick, which is really nice background damage and an extra source of crowd control. You can also always go with the Reviver Hive as well if you feel like you need it. Our specialization is going to be Gunner, as it just pairs best with an LMG. I originally thought of Firewall for extra fire things, but the 20% in burn duration was hardly noticeable. That's why I went with Gunner for obvious armor on kill things. Killing an enemy grants 10% armor on kill. Also, the rate of fire increase after a kill from barrage is really nice. Just make sure you spec into the extra LMG damage node as well for an extra 15% damage on your Iron Lung. Now for a recap of the build so you can see it all at once. We are going with the Catalyst Exotic Mask, an all red rolled Eclipse Protocol 4-piece gear set, and either a Grupo or Ceska chest with Obliterate and the Iron Lung being our primary weapon. As always, I will toss a written out format of the build in the description of the video below. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. See you next time.